Oh my gosh. I actually think that many of you are not jumping on the generative AI bandwagon, meaning you have no idea what ChatGPT can do for you. It can do something as simple as, oh my gosh, it can do something as simple as creating or writing a sentence for you, editing the sentence for you, creating professional development, and yes, writing an agenda for PD. And so, okay, if you have no idea what generative AI is, or you've never used ChatGPT and you're an educational leader, you're a principal, an assistant principal, a teacher, you're part of the educational community, a parent, you're getting left behind. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because there are students that have and know exactly what I'm talking about. So while I'm talking, I do want to make sure that I am sharing this with my community. So I am grabbing the link so that I can share this with my educational partners. So bear with me as I just send out this because I promised that I would send this link. And if and before I get started, what I want to tell you is if you're not using any type of generative AI or Chat GPT or Gemini, Perplexity, Claude.ai, Copilot, just to enhance what you're doing, what would typically take you hours, that ChatGPT can do some quick editing for you, you're wasting your time. I'm telling you this because there are people are becoming obsolete because they don't learn the new stuff, all the things that are new. And if you're not sure what all those things are, you remember when Google came out. You remember when we had a situation where Google was available, informational, anything, any type of search engine was available. I'm trying to think of the old search engines that are not even around anymore. It's a Microsoft one, it's just slipping my mind. But students in the 90s, when they either were in college or were in middle school or high school, and their parents had access to the internet, or you could just go to the library and get access, they could Google things faster. Let me get a little closer to my mic. You could get things research faster. You could, instead of going to that old microfiche thing that you used to use when you wrote your papers back in the day, it is so much faster when you can use a generative program like ChatGPT to answer things for you, find research for you, help you organize what that looks like in APA, MLA, Chicago style research when you have to cite it. What would this look like if maybe you could rearrange something in a sentence for me so that it sounds more professional? Maybe I write this so that it's in terms for the public. So it's not so broad, meaning very college level or academic level. So uh, let me just send this out because I said that I would, and I haven't sent it out yet. So I'm sending it. I'm sending it now to my community. But what would you say if you were in a community and you had no idea that the neighboring community, like the Silicon Valleys, the North Northwestern or Evanston areas in Illinois, have access to a generative AI that can make them more efficient. It makes their school site more efficient. Their students are more efficient, and they're making change. But we are leaving behind the economically disadvantaged. I mean, it's available. So I'm going to show you a few things using generative AI that you can use as a site leader. You can change it up if you're a teacher. I really am focusing on site leaders right now, but I will say that it's very helpful for you if you are a teacher or parent so that you get in front of it. Because if you're not using generative AI 15, 30 minutes to an hour a day, you don't even know what it is. I'm just going to tell you, you may have heard about it, you've seen it, you've heard that um, LA or New York at one point was like, we're not using generative AI. No way are we using generative AI. We don't want kids using it. They're going to cheat. But I'm going to tell you that you might just be surprised. And okay, so let's just start from the beginning. For those of you that may have never seen generative AI before or ChatGPT, there are a few of them. I can go to Gemini. That's another platform through Google. I can use Copilot, which is another platform attached to Microsoft. OpenAI and Microsoft do partner, but this is the platform. This platform is you have what we call the sidebar. So all of my former chats are here. We can create a new chat here. And then because I pay for ChatGPT, I get the pro version. They're renaming it slightly. 4.0 is really for Omni. And then there's Mini, which is the free version. And then there's the legacy version. And then I can turn off the chat, meaning it won't keep my information available, meaning once I create the chat, it's not in my sidebar and there's no memory of it. So if you don't copy, cut, and paste it, it's gone. I haven't quite figured out why I would want to do that, but maybe it's because I'm practicing, for example. So let me just grab a couple of prompts that I already created. And if you're a principal and you're thinking, I really kind of don't know where to start, you can start with these fun things that you already see. But let's say you are I am a principal or assistant principal in Illinois. I have no idea where to find my state test scores for my school. I work in, I'm going to pick a school district, the Naperville School District. Can you find this for me? Now, this is the paid version. And look at how fast this is. Watch this. Now it's thinking. So I'm going to copy this prompt. I want to show you this is, first of all, this is where it is. So it's giving you this information. So I could click on this. It tells you that there's the Illinois report card. You can visit this website. It tells you the district name, Naperville Community Unit School District 203. I was in a neighboring district, I was in Naperville, but I worked in another neighboring district that was Naperville and Aurora. And then contacting the district office if you can't find it. Like, it gives you suggestions. So if I take the same prompt, and now that if we go to Google, and I can just type it right in because you can see, I'm pointing to it. You can see right here that it says Google. So I'm just going to type this in and see what it gives me. So it gave me the report card, which is great. So view school report cards, illinois.gov. Then it says Illinois report card, illinoisreportcard.com. It gives me the Naperville Community Unit School District. It gives me the educator performance evaluation. It gave me everything that ChatGPT did. But look, this was quick. It's in one place. And I now can click on, typically, well, it's not, not sure why it's not giving me the live website, but let me ask it. Where are the live links? Because right now, I know that Google has updated and really is trying to compete with generative AI, but at least I know that it's right. Like, I can verify, because everything you do in ChatGPT, you want to verify, unless it's like, if it's research, you want to verify. If it's not necessarily research, you don't necessarily always need to verify everything. So this is the report card. Let's see if it gave me the live links. Okay, it gives me the live links this time. So here it is, Illinois report card. So if I go to Google, let's go to Illinois report card, see if it gives me the same thing. Absolutely. Okay, so we can verify. The second one is not giving me a live link. Do you have the URL for, and I'm saying this, that's not what I want, for, because There it is. Give me the URL, because if it's not working in the link, then I need to grab the link. So at least before it didn't do this. So it's getting better. So I'll click on it here. That this does not work. So the Illinois State Board of Education, that link is not found, but there is a link available. So this is, I had to back it up a little bit. So whatever link that it gave me is not right, which is interesting. This link is active, but no information. Let me tell you what I'm doing right now. I'm telling ChatGPT, I'm training ChatGPT by saying, hey, I need you to know a little bit and I want you to see this. So, and I'm looking at another screen right now. So that is something that I want you to be aware of, that not everything is available in ChatGPT. So you have to vet it. But here's some things that you can kind of have fun with. Now that we know, I'm using Illinois, I'm in the state of California. I can say, do this for California, use Berkeley School District. Let's see if it'll find what I need. So California Department of Education, California School Dashboard, CASP results, exactly what I would want, and then the district. So let's see if these are active. So California School Dashboard. Yes, it did it. And if you're a parent, you're like, I wouldn't even know where to go. It gave me all the information here, the CASP results. This is not a live link. But I know what the website URL is by heart, but not a live link. So I want it to give me the live link. Give me URL. Let me see if it actually can give me the URL. That's the URL. Okay, great. And if it's not clicking, you can grab it. And we'll just throw it here since we don't need that anymore. So you can grab it and it should take you to exactly where I want. So this data is a year behind right now. It's always, but 2024 comes out in mid to late October. And then I can see, does it give, and look, it even gave me the 3 at the end. Love that. So I can go to Berkeley. So it gives me Berkeley schools. It gave me the California School Dashboard. This information is the public raw scores for a school district, site, and the county and the state level. It automatically goes to the state level. And then this report card compares year over year, like our students improving over time. So same information, but taken to a different level if you didn't know. Same with the Illinois report card. I'm using those 2 states because I worked in both of those states. But let's go with some activities that as a principal, what could I do as a principal? Why would I even want to use ChatGPT? Like, I want my own work. I agree. So let's try this. Like, what I like right now in the United States, we are, let me restate this. We are focused on the science of learning. Like, what is the science of learning? And basically that means, how are students learning in the classroom and how are they taking this information and able to not just memorize, but use it to evaluate what they've learned and then take that information and use it in a new situation, or take that information from the previous school year and then add it onto the new information, whatever content that is. And then how do we integrate other content? Like, how do we integrate the language, meaning in the United States, it could be English, it could be a dual immersion, it could be integration of that language into mathematics, into science, it could be integrating that information into social science, physical education, art. Like, how are we taking the language and reapplying it so that we aren't just learning in isolation? That's one thing. The other thing is that, how are we taking the teaching and the learning, the science of teaching and learning, and realizing that just because we taught it doesn't mean students learned it? How are we evaluating what we're doing? So we could ask ChatGPT to help us out. So we could ask ChatGPT a broad question of what is the latest research? Me as a principal, like I want to improve. I'm a new principal at this site. Maybe I'm a seasoned principal, but I was changed to a site that needs academic improvement for their students. Teachers need some professional development. And you want to find out what you can do to change. I could start from the big scope, but I could start minimal, like what is the latest research in helping schools improve academics for student learning? Like I could ask that question. And when I ask this question, this is what I get. High dosage tutoring. I don't know that so high dosage tutoring, and they're giving me some references. And I'm liking that I'm seeing the references. Focus on high quality instruction, extended learning time, equity and accessibility, non-traditional learning models. Okay. So so you could take this and say, okay, these are 5 areas. I'm curious as to why Hattie's work didn't show up, maybe, and some other things that I already know. But, and I would want to, and maybe I'm just doing research. I see this and I immediately myself wants to go right to the high dosage learning and start going to the link. But before you do that, I would ask you as a principal to push it a little bit and say, what about the research? What about um, uh, visible learning and teaching Hattie's work? How does this relate to the above, and are the, or is this research outdated, or can it still be part of the research dialogue? So these are things that as a site leader, you want to do these things, and ChatGPT can help organize you quite quickly. I'm very glad that ChatGPT did something. Look, it gives me response 1 and 2. However, if I click on one of these responses, the other one goes away. So that I don't like that. So if I wanted to minimize this and like screenshot it so I can get both, I almost would, because even though this is not something I had planned on keeping, I am going to, with purpose, screenshot this because I want to keep it. And I'm telling you, this is my little tip, is that if you get 2 versions, you click on one, the other one goes away, and the other one on the right is so much longer. So, and I'm just screenshotting it just so you know that the one thing I have found is that one of them goes away if I click on it. So you almost have to take time to say, okay, I probably want to read both. So this over here, it says John Hattie's work research remains highly relevant and continues to play a critical role in discussions about improving student learning. Still talks about the 1,500 meta-analyses of educational interventions, things like that. So my goal right now is to show you that ChatGPT is a research tool, just like Google. So if I took the same response up here, I want to show you if I put it into Google, what would happen. So I'm going to, because I know that this is a Google site, I don't want to keep, I don't want so many tabs available. So I get research found that stronger brain synchrony between peers and between students and teachers predicted better academic performance. So this came out then, this is where it's coming from. It's not that I won't keep this, because I do like this. But I almost want to say, join our community. I almost want to say, this is what I found, and I'm going to add it. Like, there are so many things that you can do. And I know this seems like a lot, but my goal right now is to add this, and I don't want this to go away, but I'm going to see what happens. Like, the prior is what I found online. Thoughts? Because right now I'm just doing research. and I know that it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much. I just want to put it here and I can go back to it and read it later. But let's see if it kept both. Do you see it didn't even keep it? It only kept the one on the left. It's only kept the one on the left, and I liked the one on the right. So that is, I'm so glad that I copied that in a document. So if you're on a Mac, if you have a photo, you actually can hit print or screenshot it, and you can grab the text. That's a whole nother day. You can grab the text and throw it back in to something and use it later. So that's one tip. Like, you can use ChatGPT as a place of research. And the other thing is that I want to keep this as a separate research item, and you can rename it too. So if I wanted to rename it, and I could say rename latest research in education. You can make it shorter if you want. I'm going to minimize my sidebar. So that's one tip that I highly recommend. There are some other ones, and so let me grab a couple of the prompts. So we can actually, let's go here. I'm going to go back to this one, and we're going to grab the article that it gave us. Like this, it gave us, I like the extended learning time. That is a big expanded learning opportunities in California. And part of that is the extended learning time, giving students access to more time. So let's go to this. Despite progress, achievement gaps persist during recovery from pandemic. This was just printed or created in January. So we could take this article. Let me copy it. We're going to go back to ChatGPT, and I don't want to live in here, because what ChatGPT over time will do is it will hallucinate. It'll start making things up. So I like to use a fresh chat sometimes, unless I keep saying refer back to. So you can go to a fresh chat so that you can kind of see, and there's not so much. But the other thing you can do when you're in here is you can hit Control F and search. So if I type in high dosage and I know it's this one, I can go and search. So I'm going to live here and actually tell it, use number 1, high dosage tutoring. Here is the title of the article. Okay, I'm giving it the article only because I went there. Like, this is what it is. And now one of my prompts is, so say that, you know what, you might read it anyway, that article. You might go, you know what, I want to read this article because I want to make sure that ChatGPT is giving me the right information. So I'm going to read this entire article, and then you're going to go on a squirrel binge because there's so many more articles to look at. That's okay. And this is me saving it because fantasy football, that's so funny. And I actually like to save my articles, and usually I don't know if I have a Berkeley one, so we'll just put research education, save it. It's there. Then I have all of this later. So these are some tips that I would do when I'm researching in ChatGPT. I don't want to just research the research. I want to actually engage with the research. And during this time, I'm using this to create a prompt that's going to help me understand this article. Again, you can come out of this chat, go to a new chat, make it clean, but I'm actually going to engage here, and I'm going to grab something, and this is the prompt that I grabbed. So, and here it is right here, so you can see it. It says, let me make this slightly bigger. Right here, summarize the key findings of the latest research on differentiated instruction. So I don't want to use that on, I'm going to say on about this article. Find 3 key points to discuss in my upcoming professional development, and 3 guiding questions. Now, if you're doing this with teachers, have the article for them and maybe put them in a small group and have one group read one part of the article, the other group read another part of the article, but you can at least have guiding questions. You can create your own guiding questions. I would. That's what I used to do, but I didn't have this. This makes me not just efficient and proficient, it cuts down on time. I am making myself more time to do things that I must do that I can't do in ChatGPT. That's what ChatGPT does for you. So uneven recovery across states, persistent achievement gaps, urgency of utilizing federal relief funds. That's okay. It says that, but here's what I wanted. The 3 key points for professional development: targeted high dosage tutoring. Now, I would argue that you should probably go look up that effect size according to Hattie, because Hattie right now is still the highest effect size, and students can grow 3 years. 3 years of growth in 1 year is teachers talking to each other about student data and then doing something differently about it. Addressing inequalities in education, strategic use of federal funds. So this may not be one I want to do. Like, how can our school district, this might be high level, this might be district level, this might not be one I want to use. I'm like, yeah, I was thinking it would do something differently. So maybe I want a different article. That's something you want. This, it cut down time. I didn't have to read the article. It told me that maybe this is district level. I want to share this with my assistant superintendent of education. Like, what are we going to do? This high dosage tutoring, do we have funding, as a principal? And maybe I want to focus on that. Maybe that one thing is, well, I think my site will focus on high dosage tutoring only. I have funding to allow teachers before and after school small groups. Does this article work for this? And how? So this is, in my mind, I'm like, oh, it did the research for me. I know I need high dosage tutoring. I have a group of students that probably could really, benefit from this. So reinforcement of evidence-based strategies, addressing urgencies and effectiveness, focus on equity. Okay, so who are your student groups that you want to, me as a principal, now I'm going, I need to focus on this. The article highlights the persistence of achievement gaps, how to use the article in your professional development. And again, I may not want to use the article. I am not going to use the article. I am just going to collaborate with teachers on using teacher time to create groups that will benefit. I want teachers to talk about it. So I just cut down time and realized the full article isn't beneficial to show, because sometimes what happens is principals grab an article, give it to teachers and go, we're going to read this together. That would have been a waste of their time. Total waste of their time. So objective questions for discussions. What are primary academic areas where our students need more support? I just want questions, but you might need to say that, because usually I'm like, I just want them to collaborate on what that is. So that's, one great tip. Actually, this is more like 3 tips. You can grab your articles, have ChatGPT do research, grab an article, see if it's something that you can use in a professional development. Clearly, I didn't need to read that article to go, nope, I don't need that, but maybe I can find some other research to support that. And I can create questions to do that, to provide for my professional development. And I'm gonna give you a hidden tip, number 4. This is a hidden tip that ChatGPT did for me. It allowed me to problem solve using the current research. It allowed me to problem solve, because I'm going to tell ChatGPT this, ChatGPT allowed me to realize I didn't need the article for PD, but we need high dosage tutoring for student academic success. it also allowed me to change focus quickly. Like that's something, and I'm just going to tell it thank you. It does not have emotions, but it's fun to get it to engage. You're welcome. I'm glad I could help you clarify your focus and move forward with a plan that truly supports your students' academics. It's giving me some like affirmation. Yes. Um, it's great that you were able to adapt quickly and focus on what will be most effective for your site. That is what ChatGPT does for you. Number 5, it makes you efficient. It makes you really, really efficient. Now, there are so many other things because I'm going to give you 5 more tips. And of course, I have 10 tips that we won't even get to, but why not? Um, you are a school that, let's go here. Okay. How can I use social media to improve our site's positive work? Now, let's say you're really proficient in Canva. Um, you could grab this stuff and go showcase student achievement, post student success stories, maybe not photos, highlight individual groups, highlight teacher staff efforts. Get their permission before you say their name, but you can possibly highlight a staff effort or group effort like we were. And the reason why you want to show your story is because social media, unfortunately, tells the negative stories and our brains go to the negative because it increases dopamine very quickly and it sends you on an amygdala hijack and people get angry and then another group of people who don't even associate with the school get angry and then help the group of people that are angry. So if you are, it takes about 7 to 10 things to negate a negative thing online. So if you're putting out positive quotes, positive things that are happening, you can ask parents, like, is there anything you would like me to share that is happening at home with your students based on the homework? You can ask for testimonials, and then you can ask ChatGPT to help you. Now, there are GPTs that will help you with Canva and integrate that, but that is another day. But this is what you could do. You can teacher spotlights regularly feature a teacher or staff member sharing their contributions. Again, get permission. Some teachers want no footprint on social media. And if you are, every time you post something on social media, and let me stop sharing for a moment. Every time you post something on social media, and you haven't told or asked the other person, you are creating what we call a digital shadow. And the public has the right to free speech. So if they're not on school campuses, they're taking pictures from a distance, it's hard to stop that. It's really hard to stop that. But within the perimeter of your grounds, you need permission. You need permission to post pictures. You need permission from teachers. You need permission from support staff to just post stuff. And even if you're an educator or a teacher and you start posting things that are negative about what's happening in the school, you are becoming the negative part of the problem. I would challenge you in a good way to go to your site leader or your principals, go to your district before you start posting negative stuff. You want to post positive stuff and making sure you understand the policies of what they say in the district when you post. I am a fan of quoting, like writing your own quotes and saying, we are doing amazing things. Academic achievement is up. Go to the public websites to check it out. That way it's not just made up information. You can share that and promote that. Like, even if all students didn't improve, students do improve. Even if they're not at the grade level you want them to, students learn something during the school year. And you can focus on, these are the initiatives we're doing. We're focusing on clarity for learning and the science of teaching and learning to make sure that students really learn the academic success. So I wanted to point that out, that even though ChatGPT can be a great place for you to showcase what you want to do and it's giving me ideas, don't just run with it. Just because it says highlight teachers' efforts. But this celebrate community involvement. Ask parents, can I take pictures at our community STEM event and highlight it? send an email, put it in writing. I would love to share this. How do you feel about this? This was such a great thing for our school. Would you like to give me a testimonial? Do that. It might take some time, but you can definitely create a Google form and ask parents what they think about these pictures. Would they like to give me a testimonial? And you'll have all your testimonials in one place. Something to think about. And then sharing educational resources. If you use a product that supports the academic curriculum, the standards, and that product meaning whatever adopted curriculum you bought that is aligned with the state standards, maybe there are resources that help parents. Maybe there is a one pager from that curriculum. Share and put those on your Facebook page, on Twitter. This is a great link. Parents will start to look for that. The difference between putting it on a website and social media pushes it out and people go absorb it. Websites, we have to go to it. Social media, people turn their notifications on. They might, even if it's TikTok, you can be the principal that here's the resource of the day. Go click on the district website or the school site website to go get that resource. Parents are on TikTok now. I mean, it makes sure that it's okay with your district, but most districts are allowing for positive things to go out, and especially resources that support student learning. So, and you can engage with the audience. And if somebody says something negative, unless you're running for a position like for a senator or something like that, you can call that parent. I would call the parent directly or the person if they're a part of the community and say, can you tell me about your comment? Two things will happen. One, they will tell you about the comment and either feel like, oh, I should have called you first. And you listen because you need to listen. And two, they might remove it. And I would only respond to the positive comments online and then call the parents. And you can say, you know what, I'm going to give you, please contact me. Would love to chat. Say things like that instead of, you might want to comment and say that. But love to chat and hear what you have to say. And if they keep the feed going on that, I would just ignore that, but give them the opportunity to call. And then use visuals effectively. Videos like this, your videos to your classrooms. Like there are many school districts that are doing 2-minute celebrations of the day and highlights of the day and announcements of the day using YouTube. And it's just for the school and it's a non-public place. So only people who have the link, or private for teachers. And I do that for PD too, because I get more comfortable this way. And then it's branding. So branding is not the piece of article you put out. Branding is the emotions that people feel when they enter your school. The emotions when they think about your district. So, and it's different for every demographic group. So branding is the brand that you give them based on how they feel. So please know that. You get to brand the positive messages. You get to say and help people feel encouraged. But even if you post something that's positive, doesn't mean everybody's going to feel that way about that positive message. So just know that branding is how they feel when they arrive in your space. It is not what you think it is. It is not. Just remember that the positive things that are happening, it's really the emotions that are within the individual person or group of people. So those are just some things. And then lastly, what you can do is you can ask for, there are three other things you can ask for using ChatGPT. Find teacher engagement activities to get the PD started. So that's one thing you can do. The other thing that you can do is, so I like that, what's your why, gallery walk, speed. I don't like this word, educate. I would call it something else. I don't like speed dating. Say it differently. Just this one. I don't like that at all. At all. Rapid exchange of ideas, much better. Jigsaw discussions, success and challenge boards, like, beginning and then And then tip number 5 would be give me a closing activity. 5 minutes. A starting and an ending to your meeting, whatever that is. 3 key takeaways, 2 questions that still have or areas where they would want more information, 1 action step that plan to implement. I don't know about classwork, but one thing that you would take to heart. And those are just, and then 2 more things that I would like to add. An introduction letter as the new principal. Give me suggestions. You might need to give it some context. Elementary school, STEM integration, so many things. We'll call it working class, lots of involvement. No, no, lots. I'm thinking of 2 words at once. Lots of engagement with the community. We'll just go with that. So we know it's an elementary school, STEM school. I'm thrilled to introduce myself with a focus, blah, blah, blah. And then you can take this letter and tweak it. And then you can, the fun one, it's still thinking, but the fun one, it didn't even let me finish until it finished. Create a STEM image for an article for my school. No words. Words, it will always mess up the words. Like that is a thing. Always messes up the words. And what I like about the images, and this is the paid version, it's using Dolly. Ooh, it is beautiful. Like this is a STEM image for my article. And I'm probably going to use this image in a different article on how ChatGPT created this. And what you can think about is what are some other ways of conversations that you can have over time. So with that, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to our engaging conversations that we are doing over time. And please come back often and let me know what you think. And I will be here live every Saturday morning to talk about generative AI or the science of learning or the newest and research in education. Goodbye, everybody.